Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Education Minister Dr. Gail Rigobert is responding to criticism from parents and guardians who say that they were made to waste thousands of dollars to get students ready for the return to their classrooms in September. Students have been out of classrooms since the 16th of October due to community spread of COVID-19. The minister says it was not a waste.
What do you say to parents who spend, especially in these hard times where many of them are not even working, but those parents who had to spend thousands of dollars on books and school uniforms, and now most of these things are not being used?
I don't know that we can say that parents are not using the books or supplies
And
that
the
were bought.
uniforms, etc.
The uniforms, of course, will have a longer lifespan if they use them going through the academic year. Those students who are moving from one school to another, these are things that we cannot avoid. I don't think they are unique to St. Lucia, but with respect to the investment that parents would have made in books, it is not a wasted investment at all.
The minister revealed in a previous interview with Hot 7 TV that she is unsure of when schools will reopen. Now, Hot 7 TV took to the streets to find out how the St. Lucian public would feel about taking a COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available. A preliminary analysis has shown that a vaccine developed by two companies has proven to prevent 90% of people from getting COVID-19. So, would you take the vaccine? Here's what you had to say.
According to recent studies, the first effective coronavirus vaccine can prevent more than 90% of people from getting COVID-19. The developers have described it as a great day for science and humanity. We took to the streets to find out whether the public would be willing to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Let's hear what they had to say. COVID vaccine gets to St. Lucia, would you take it?
It really have to get to St. Lucia.
So would you take it?
Of course I will.
We'll take it. That's what they have to give. If you really want me to take it, all the heads of governments and all of them have to take it, and don't come and try that on a man like me. No, I won't accept it.
I must know why I'm taking it. I must get the reason why they want me to take the vaccine. If the reason suits me, I will take it. And for instance, as long as my Prime Minister take it, I am taking it too.
Would you take a COVID-19 vaccine?
No, and I will not accept it for my children, and I will not allow my children to take it. No, why not? For no reason at all. I am not going to allow my children to take the COVID vaccine. Not at all. Not at all, and not at all at all.
Prohibisman COVID. Suman COVID lang apring. Isot dia mene patri bano pu agreement. Le klima la di pasajewi ko yo te setlisi yo ka jewi. You need billion of moon. You say nukin 175,000 moon.
Well, hypothetically speaking, if there's a vaccine for the COVID-19 virus, if it's going to cure me, in other words, to make me better, then I'll take it. But if not, to worsen the process of the virus, which is very deadly at the moment, I wouldn't take it. So we as people need to educate ourselves, get our facts right, and do the best to save our life.
Ni pubau. Epi ini the mark of the bislan di dai. Layo ba we saka enter asu ek. Layo me machine nasu yo kaisa suni eme subani. Sibasa upa enter vai.
And as you saw, while some are open to the idea, others oppose it greatly. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Thank you, Genevieve. Over the weekend, the city of Castries saw the demolition of the Ajuda building, which once housed the Gaiety Cinema and the well-known Voyager store. The building had been vacant for almost a year after a fire in November 2019, which left it in ruins. While there had been calls for it to be taken down, many say this is another loss to the St. Lucian landscape, as the building had much sentimental value.
The Ajuda building on the corner of William Peter Boulevard, Labrie Street and West Hall Lane has been demolished. The building, which housed the Voyager business and the once popular Gaiety Cinema, had been vacant since November 21, 2019, after a fire gutted the establishment. Ever since, there have been many calls for the building to be demolished, citing that it is a hazard waiting to happen. Over the weekend, everyone watched in amazement as the building was demolished with no preemption. Veteran journalist and documenter Jerry George, as he watched the building go down, explained that it was a sad moment as once again St. Lucia had lost a landmark and years of memories.
Well, I think it holds a lot of memories, so obviously it's causing me a bit of difficulty to see this spot empty now. My heart is full, and I cannot bring myself now to looking at the spot and seeing, tractors and the place just flattened out. But I understand that part of our progress is that stuff like that must come down as they make way for new structures. I am hoping that whoever acquires the spot, or whoever is going to construct a building on the spot, would give it a nice modernized look, obviously, but at the same time don't make it look like a square box.
The Ajuda building would have been 70 years this November. George went on to explain that the building housed many memories.
Bands, entertainment, historic events all took place at that particular spot. And for me, I remember when we were doing live carnival coverage, we would be going, on top of the balcony here to get a panoramic view, because if you stood at the end of Laborie Street and William Peter Boulevard, you can see when the bands would be coming down Miku Street into Laborie Street, and you can also see them disappearing along Laborie Street, which was the route for the bands.
Many others have expressed that this building held sentimental value to them, given that it housed St. Lucia's first cinema. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Meanwhile, members of the public shared their fondest memories of the Ajuda building.
We took to the streets to find out some of the public's fondest memories of the Gaiety Cinema and the Ajuda building. Let's hear what they had to say.
In the early 50s and 60s, when we had Carnival, the bigger shots like the Bascoms and them would be up in balcony, and people stay down. Sunday matinee for New Year's. This is one of the things we're going to miss at Ajuda for. Then they had True Tones, they had Quavers, they had Big Six Sunday afternoon playing right here, and a lot of people still remember here.
So what are you feeling in your heart as the building has come down?
Well, it hurts me a lot now. Because that was a beautiful place. Another place everybody will remember what Gaiety what was about. Downstairs, Mr. Ajuda was selling hats, them felt hats, them old men hats.
Koko ibole la ma content. Koko ibole la ma content. Je me dis faire dans et que boule.
So qui manière on sorti Koko ouais yo parlé ça. Un chai l'histoire.
Koko ibole la mo pas content c'est ça. Koko je flat là. Pour chai moun pas moi tout seul.
When I was 15 years old, I was going to the St. Aloysius RC Boys School. When I was about to sit in examination for the Mount Technical College, where I did 2 years, and then I went to a school in Laclery because I was misbehaving. I was very, very troublesome, always fighting. Gaiety Cinema was always, both Gaiety and Clark's. Then they had the midnight shows. Then we had Calypso shows there.
Well, the only thing I have to say, my boy, you see, I remember the Gaieties because the children of today, they are not going to remember the Gaieties. But I know when I was young, or right now I'm 65 years old, when I was young at the age of 15 to 20, not 20, I was 15. I used to go to Square, and I know that's where we used to go to cinema. Sometimes we go in there 3 times for the day, and we used to enjoy it, especially the midnight movie, the blues, right, the sex movie. We used to enjoy it. Okay, but at that time we were small. When we reach home, our mother used to beat us, but we remember that the history. And the children of today, I'll be happy for the children of today to know where we used to enjoy ourselves. We used to go 4:40 during the week. And on Saturday early morning, we used to go to matinee.
Every Saturday, Uncle used to be by the bloody gate. We used to go in. At that time, they were downstairs, you used to call it pit. And upstairs you had for balcony and all that. And he used to let us in because we were from Marchand. We lived in George Charles Boulevard. So by the time before the movie starts, we were in the cinema, waiting. It was my brothers, Mac, Lindy, and myself, waiting to go in. And we used to watch the movie and have fun. And when we get home, we got licks because mommy sent us to do shopping, and then we end up in the cinema.
This year would have also marked 70 years since the Ajuda building was built. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break.